Hello everyone, my name is Mr. EX and I'm back bringing you another exciting Rome 2 replay cast on a dreary English afternoon. It's been raining all day and it's overcast outside, but at least I have a brilliant replay for you. This is one of those replays that's from a while back. This is back when I was in Bard, and my good friend Mr. Sigurd, Snake in the Eye, didn't have a clan. He was clanless, the poor boy. And anyway, so it's from a while back, and I remember this being a great replay. I can't remember exactly what happened, so it is kind of new to me. I haven't seen it since I played the battle. Yeah, it'll be just as exciting for you as it is for me, hopefully. So, on my team, and I'm prepared this time, I've written down all the names because I felt quite guilty for not knowing the names last time. We have Sigurd, Snake in the Eye, my boy, as the Luisitani. We have Socrates as the Suebi, right in front of us here, my good friend Socrates. We have Obelix opposite us as Syracuse, Horatius as Carthage, and Lord Mauer as the Arevaci. So let's look at the armies real quick. So I've got a pretty standard Massagetae army. We are on medium funds, by the way, I should mention that. So I have 3-step horse archers on this flank, 2 noble lancers, and 2 armored lancers. And on the other flank, I have 2 step armored lancers, Saka Carafrax, step noble lancer, and 3 step horse archers. So that's my army. The Luisitani have gone for 4 Iberian swordsmen, 2 Scutari spearmen, 3 Balearic slingers. Well, that's definitely a lot of skirmish power, so I'm quite impressed with Sigurd here. We have Luisitani guerrillas. There might be more. There might be. Well, actually, no. I should probably be able to see them, even if they are in guerrilla deployment. Yeah, so it's just 1 Luisitani guerrilla then. And 3 veteran shield warriors and a Luisitani noble general. Interesting. And with Suebi we have the classic spear levy in the front, so 3 spear levy, 3 club levy, okay, so 2 meat shield fronts. Presumably he has Arevaci, yes he does. 3 Germanic slingers, always a solid choice due to their missile block chance, which makes them a very cost-effective missile unit. 3 Bloodsworn and 3 Wodenna spears, as well as 4 Germanic scout riders, always a solid choice. I love these guys for 440 talents, so a fantastic choice by Socrates. And on the opposite teams we have, for the Arevaci, we have 3 Iberian spearmen here in the front, we have 3 Iberian swordsmen, 3 Iberian slingers, 1 noble fighter, 2 Scutari, Celt-Iberian cavalry, some more Scutari spearmen. Okay. So 1 cavalry unit from the Arevaci, from what I can see, which is interesting. A lot of sword power in that army. Well, a decent amount of sword power. Yeah, should serve them pretty well at this funds level. We have 2 citizen cavalry for Syracuse, 2 Etruscan hoplites. Probably more will be revealed. So this isn't the full army, but we have 2 slingers here, some Samnites, some Thorax hoplites. So we'll see what else comes when we start the battle. For Carthage, we have 2 late Libyans. Gallic warriors, so they're interspersed here, 3 Gallic warriors and 3 Samnites, and we have a Balearic slinger. There might be more here, but I'm not sure. We'll see soon. 2 late Libyan hoplites on the flanks, and some Libyan javelinmen. That's an interesting choice. Libyan javelinmen, I haven't seen them in a while. And we have some Carthaginian cavalry, so 2 Carthaginian cavalry and 1 general's bodyguard. So without further ado, let's begin this battle and see what pops out here from the opposing team. Let's fast forward a little bit while the teams are jockeying for position. And yeah, okay, so we have some Iberian slingers being revealed here. Soon we'll be able to see more. As usual, as the step player, I'm going to go immediately to do some skirmishing with my step horse archers. What am I targeting here? Nothing, because I see these slingers here and they're going to rip me to shreds because I have absolutely no armor on my horse archers. So we'll see how I deal with the Arevaci here. Okay, so now that we can see the armies better, we have 2 mercenary warriors in the core, 2 Thorax hoplites, and we have a bunch of slingers and 2 Etruscan hoplites in the front. Well, these guys can take a pretty brutal charge. They have a lot of armor for their price, but I mean, it's a little bit. I'm not sure I'd put them here in front, but we'll see how he uses cavalry to screen. So we'll see. Okay, we have the late Libyans screening as expected, so that should work pretty well. Hopefully, the Luisitani are not gonna charge all their expensive units onto this Libyan hoplite, and they get counter-charged by swords, because that would definitely not work well for the Luisitani. So we'll see how the Luisitani deals with this meat shield unit. And this is a very good meat shield unit, by the way, because it has a lot of armor, a decent morale, 45 morale, a little bit more expensive than most meat shield units, but that's quite a bit of morale. It will withstand a charge from heavy cavalry for sure, and it'll do a lot of damage because of the 30 bonus versus large. So it should be very interesting to see how the Luisitani deals with this threat, so he can get his proper charges onto the infantry. We have a bit of a skirmish battle going down here. The Balearic slingers are targeting these slingers, presumably. We have the Germanic slingers exchanging shots with the Iberian slingers. The Germanic slingers should go very well, but they seem to be somewhat being teamed up on here, because we have a lot of skirmish power on the flank here, whereas we don't have anything to meet it over here. So Socrates is being caught a little bit out of position, and this is also partially due to the fact that there is no third army to support him. I mean, I'm a cavalry-based army, so I do not have the skirmish to support them right now. I mean, I have horse archers, but I don't have foot skirmish. And now we have some chargers going down from Iberian swordsmen, and we have a rear charge from citizen cavalry here, and we have some Iberian swordsmen here getting completely caught out of position, getting very poor charges. I'm not sure what the Luisitani player is doing here, but it's definitely not working very well. I'm not happy with what's going on here, especially because I'm on this guy's team. I think this is Sigurd. Sigurd, what are you doing? Anyway, so we have the Scutari spearmen tangled up with the mercenary samurai warriors. That is not going to crunch out in their favor. With a charge from a veteran shield warrior, and that looked like a very poor charge. And these Libyan javelin are going to have a field day with these low armor units. So this is looking like a very, very poor initial engagement. What's going on here? I've gotten some decent charges here onto these Iberian swordsmen. I'm going to get a lot of kills over here. So if I can survive with enough men, this is definitely going to be worth it. I got another charge here, killing these Iberian slingers and these Scutari spearmen. So we'll see how that turns out. These guys are taking a bollocking, but I mean, I did straight up YOLO charge their army. Thanks to Socrates for screening my guys so I could get away. That's a very useful tactic. You should definitely use it in online battles, especially when you're 2v2s. Use the infantry of the cheap infantry of your allies and your own cheap infantry to screen your cavalry so you can get out of an engagement without doing much damage. Charging again these Scutari spearmen here, doing as much damage as I can, but I am losing a lot of men. 129 kills, not bad. How is the Luisitani player doing here? Because, okay, he's losing veteran shield warriors with only 33 kills. Presumably he charged these Libyans and he got caught completely out of position, got bollocked by all the javelins and the skirmish power. So this is definitely not going very well for us in the early stages of this battle. A charge from these Carthaginian cavalry into the veteran shield warriors will actually do quite a bit of damage, because the Luisitani have pretty much no armor. So looks like the Luisitani player is getting wrapped up right in the beginning of this game, which is not good news for me and Socrates, especially because the numbers advantage is going to go massively against us, because we'll be left with 3 armies facing us and a horse-based army, and only 1 army which is based entirely on infantry. So the number is going to go against us. Our guys might rout too early. Scutari unit charging in here into this Bloodsworn. He got way out of position here. He killed these useless spear levy, from what I can see right now, and he's wasting a unit, so I don't know how wise that is. I'm skirmishing in the background of my step horse archers, trying to see if I can do what damage I can. Meanwhile, the Luisitani player has been completely wrapped up. I mean, he has some Balearic slingers left, but without the proper infantry support, these guys can get wrapped up. I'm going to have to help defend with my horse archers and my lancers, so... Ooh, we're about to get another charge here. I'm going to charge straight into these Iberian swordsmen. God damn, am I ballsy. And what is the Celt... Oh, and I get another charge here on these Celt-Iberian cavalry, but I'm going to get javelins chucked at me. So we'll see if that's worth it. 184 kills, 85 kills. That's a pretty damn good charge, if I may say so myself. So well done, Mr. EX. You've done a fantastic job with that charge. But hopefully I don't get bogged down and lose that unit. Well, I'm probably going to use that unit, but I have another charge lined up right here to target all of these really low armor swordsmen from the Arevaci. So this is going to be a pretty brutal charge and get a lot of kills here. So this has actually been pretty well played on my part. I'll have more than 100 kills on both of these units. Well, more than 150 kills, presumably. So that's a really cost-effective engagement for me. So I definitely played that quite well. Is Italian cavalry, what's it doing? Is it going for the skirmish? Because if it is, I better activate my cavalry to help. I must be microing elsewhere. But he moves his cavalry away from the skirmish to attack these Scutari. That's somewhat bizarre move. I'm not sure if the movement orders are bugging out a little bit. I'm going to charge my noble lancers in here to try help save these Balearic slingers, presumably successfully. I'm going to knock them all down, all the Balearic slingers. So a bit of friendly fire there. That'll be alright. We're not in hardcore mode. So yeah, I seem to be wrapping around somewhat to get to so that the Arevaci player can't present a cohesive front to take down the Suebi player. So if he's dedicating units to protect his flank, there's less for the Suebi to deal with, especially since the Luisitani player has been all but wrapped up here in this battle. So this is not looking good initially for us. These Etruscan hoplites, they're getting wailed on by all my skirmish over here. This is not going to be good because they're straying way too far away from the skirmish support that they have, and yeah, I'm going to use my skirmishers essentially to rip these guys to shreds. So what's going on over here? We see some Germanic scouts getting to this Celtiberian cavalry. It's routing, so these Germanic scouts proving their usefulness like usual. These guys are an awesome unit. 82 kills, only 440. What a fantastic unit. I love it. Skirmishing with this Iberian swordsman. These guys are getting ripped to shreds, as you'd expect. I mean, they are a very low armor unit. So there are definitely casualties being taken on both sides. We have a charge here going down from some Iberian swordsmen, just a speed bump unit right now. Just going to get a few kills on some of these spear levy. They're not going to do much. I mean, they're going to win this decisively initially, because they get wrapped up by this Bloodsworn. And nice charge going down here. Well, this guy's, we see the Syracusan player retreating to get his mercenary Samnites in there, although honestly I think I would have taken the charge of the Etruscan hoplites, but because they have more armor and more bracing, and then he could have moved in with his swords. But we have another charge here, some Bloodsworn and some Scutari. These are Club Levy. Okay, the Club Levy are going to get absolutely destroyed. Scutari are definitely going to like that engagement a lot. We have a surrounding movement over here to go around the Arevaci player. Germanic Scout Riders, be careful not to get caught. We have another charge here from my Steppe Lancers into these Iberian Spearmen. I shouldn't stay too long in combat, or else I'm going to get absolutely wrecked by the bonus versus large, which is 30, which is a massive bonus versus large. I'm getting a rear charge against these Scutari. These noble swords are getting a very nice... Oh no, they don't get a good charge. Well, that is a huge mistake for them. They're getting a good charge on these Wodenaz spears, though, so they're going to butcher these Wodenaz. So what's going on over here? The Carthaginian and the Etruscan player are quickly trying to move as quickly as they can to help against the Suebi player, but the Suebi player seems to be doing a pretty good job, and with my cavalry support we seem to be somewhat wrapping up the Arevaci player. Shield screen going down there, so that's a great idea to help with bracing, but this is going to be a pretty devastating charge from these Steppe Noble Lancers. Another charge from my Steppe Noble Lancers here. These Iberian Spearmen are going to rout, and as such the protection of these Scutari is very rapidly disappearing. So if I can get a decent rear charge, these guys are finished. So we have some Carthaginian cavalry getting into Germanic Scout Riders. They're going to do very well in that engagement, so if they keep on chasing, that'll be great. But we see the Bloodsworn being activated to screen away from these Carthaginian cavalry, so good move from Socrates. And Pride is being activated, so they're going to get a nice charge on these Thorax hoplites. They're going to do extremely well for their price range. So the Carthaginian player and the Syracusan player, I feel a bit of a poor charge from me here, but I can't help but... Wait, hold on a second. So we have another charge here. Is this going to be a good charge? Yes, it is. So these Scutari are going to drop very, very rapidly, but I can't help but feel like the Carthaginian and the Syracusan player are just not activating their units to get into the fight fast enough. They have a lot of reserves over here, and basically me and Socrates, as a Suebi player, are just overwhelming this flank. We've completely wrapped up the Arevaci, with the exception of these Iberian slingers. So I feel like this is a crucial mistake in this battle. We'll see how perhaps keeping reserves will work out well in the long run, but I don't know. So I'm skirmishing into the back of these Thorax hoplites, Etruscan hoplites, sorry. Heavy shot, presumably? Probably, and it's going to take its toll on these units, that's for sure. These Samnite warriors venturing out, Libyans. We're going to take the charge from these Scutari Spearmen. Scutari Spearmen will do okay, but they're depleted, so these guys will probably win that engagement. Moving in my Lancers over here. These Suebi have won their engagement as we expected. Pride Bloodsworn are nothing to be underestimated. I'm going to get a charge on these Mercenary Samurai Warriors, which is pretty ballsy on my part. I'm going to get another charge here. I'm going to bulldoze these Samurai Warriors and these late Libyan hoplites below. I'm going to take some serious charges, so I better get out, and I am going to get out, true to form. So that's definitely a good thing. I'm going to charge, I'm going to straight up charge the Thorax Hoplite General. If they do not brace right now, they're going to be in some serious trouble, and they're not bracing, so I'm going to get a brilliant charge on that Thorax Hoplite General. So he's going to take a lot of HP damage, even if it's not immediately apparent. I'm going to get into their skirmishers with my Lancers. Nice charge here, all these Libyans, and get bulldozed over, so this is pretty crucial. If they can't keep skirmish for the late game, they're going to be in some serious trouble. I'm going to get my Lancers in here into these Libyan Javelinmen. Good for getting rid of all those numbers. He's going to counter-charge his Carthaginian cavalry, but I'm going to get... This is a fast charge Step Noble Lancer, so these guys are going to get a lot of kills. A 96 charge bonus, that is epic. So I get 94 kills immediately within the blink of an eye. So what an awesome combination between Suebi and the Lancer power of Massagetae. So I'm charging in my Step Armored Lancers into Libyan Hoplites. Not a brilliant idea, but could work. These fast charge Step Noble Lancers are going to get another rear charge into these late Libyan Hoplites, so they are not going to enjoy that. Yeah, they're immediately going into yellow morale, so that's quite interesting. I'm going to get another charge of these late Libyan Hoplites, so it seems like the fact that the Step Lancers have so much mobility around the battlefield allowed us in this particular battle to negate the numbers advantage that the opposing team had, because they, as we saw over here previously in the battle, I managed to wrap around the Arevaci player, and as a result he couldn't present a cohesive front to deal the Suebi player, and he was constantly worrying about his rear, and rightfully so. And again, we've dealt with their rear, and they simply did not have throughout this whole battle the resources or the manpower to deal with both two full armies from the front and a step army from behind. So if I'm not very much mistaken, this is looking like it's going to be a victory for our side. Another charge here. We have to deal with the Iberian Slingers because they're getting a lot of kills here. Club Levy charging in. So despite the fact that the Luisitani player got eradicated pretty earlier in the game, I mean, we still have some slingers here, but there were some crucial mistakes made, some very poor charges. He didn't avoid the meat shields like he should have. So despite all these factors, it seems like we managed to clinch a win, and I can definitely remember why this is quite an exciting game and why I wanted to cast it, because we definitely did not expect to win this during the battle. So I'm going to get a trample charge with my general Saka Cataphracts. That's going to get a lot of kills on these Samnite warriors, so that's a very, very nice charge here. I shouldn't keep them in for too long, so 35 kills on these mid-tier swords, so that's a pretty good move on my part. But I think it's pretty much over at this stage. There's not much they can do. The clock is ticking out. So this was a very fun battle. So I'd like to thank my opponents from like 3 months ago, because this battle is like 3 months old. But who cares? Awesome battle. The enemy is routing right now. So let's take a look at the stats. Let's have a look here. Okay. So let's start off with Sigurd Snake in the Eye. So his Luisitani Noble General getting 101 kills. That's definitely nothing special. Not good enough for a unit that costs 1,200. But these Balearic Slingers going very well, even for their price, is a pretty respectable number of kills. And we saw that till the very late game he managed to save these Balearic Slingers, which meant that they got to expend their ammo. So very well used there by Sigurd. These Iberian Swordsmen, as we saw during the battle, they just got really poor charges, and they just got counter-charged by mid-tier infantry, which is never a good idea. They had javs thrown at them, so these guys really, they did not fulfill their potential, so that was very disappointing. The Luisitani Guerrillas getting 42 kills, definitely nothing special. Scutari Spearmen, 500, I mean, you do need more out of these units to make them cost-effective. These Veteran Shields doing pretty well, although I assume that because of the one chevron that we see here, they're probably against meat shield units, so not a great performance from Sigurd, but he's definitely had better games, but we still managed to clinch it in the end, and with the help of his Balearic Slingers. So when it comes to my kills, I got 42 in my general, but my whole general is remaining, so that's all good. My Horse Archers, a lot of them had used a lot of their ammo, but I still had them for the late game so they could chase down skirmishers. That's pretty good. 278 kills on this Steppe Noble Lancer, but only 1 chevron, so I assume that a lot of that was skirmish power and mid-shield units, but 2 chevrons, 190 kills on this Steppe Noble Lancer, which is definitely a respectable performance, and 184 here. So a pretty decent performance from me. Oh, and 188 kills on these Steppe Armored Lancers. So this is when I charged the Arevaci, the really low armored Arevaci player, so decent performance from me. Although Socrates definitely taking it home today, because he had to bear the brunt of both the Syracusan, the Carthaginian, and the Arevaci army after Sigurd got all but eliminated in the beginning of the game, and you can definitely see some cost effectiveness here. We have a Woden Spear General with 200 kills, 2 chevrons, 249 kills in his next one, 207, and we have 3 chevrons here, 2 chevrons. These Germanic scouts doing incredibly, 147, 120, 103 kills, so a stellar performance from a lot of these units so far. 146 kills on these Germanic slingers, 73-40, so this is a fantastic performance from these guys as well. This Bloodsworn getting 196 kills, that's a fantastic performance. 26 kills on this one, nothing special. 168 here, god damn, Socrates, you really clinched it this time. Club Levy, 4 kills, 38, so no, they're just doing Club Levy things basically, so just screening for charges, not doing much, but still, it's not a bad amount of kills for such a cheap unit, and these Spear Levy got eliminated, so a great performance from Socrates, so well done to him. From Obelix we have 64 kills on his general, but his general did get charged by a heavy shock cavalry, as we saw during the battle, so I guess that this is a sort of respectable amount of kills, but you do expect more from a Thorax Hoplite, honestly. These Citizen Cavalry doing absolutely nothing, because I mean they're Citizen Cavalry. These Javelinmen doing okay actually, 36 kills, but these ones not doing very much. These Slingers performing respectably, this one definitely not. These Etruscan Hoplites holding, these guys got 181 kills, but these aren't Etruscan Hoplites, sorry. These are Etruscan Hoplites not doing much, honestly. And these Samnite Warriors get a decent amount of kills, a respectable amount. So a decent performance from Obelix, nothing special though, to be sure. So from the Carthaginian player Horatius, we have Balearic Slinger, 150 kills, so very respectable. A decent performance from these Gallic warriors, a very nice performance from these Samnites. So on the whole, these Samnites did pretty well, and these were clearly used very effectively, these late Libyan hoplites to screen against the Luisitani players, so that was very well played over there. And with Lord Mauer, we see 143 kills in his noble fighters. Could be better, especially since we only received 1 chevron, but not a bad amount of kills. These Iberian slingers doing okay, but they really could have done a lot better, although it is difficult to skirmish against these fantastically cost-effective Germanic slingers from the Suebi player. These Iberian spearmen, they got charged by some heavy shock cavalry, so they didn't get to do much during this game, but they are very cheap. These Iberian swordsmen, not doing much, these guys did okay. And the Scutari performing pretty admirably for their price, so not a bad performance from Lord Mauer. But anyway, really fun battle. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.